Open to anyone. Okay, so I think to answer your question, I don't think we necessarily, or at least I can say, I didn't know we were going to be the foundation. I think some of the classes before us came in thinking they were going to be the foundation. And, looking at last year's graduating class, they kind of helped us turn the program, but there was a hope that we could be a part of that building process. And so it's been rewarding, and we're looking to continue to grow. I don't know if you want to add.
What she said.
But you three knew that you were going to play a good role, a large role right away, right? Did you guys all three kind of get together as soon as you got here and kind of talk about that? Did you guys click right away as soon as you got here?
Yeah. That's very far away.
There you go.
Okay. I don't necessarily. I won't say that we clicked right away, but I do know Jocelyn and Nikki because we're teammates. But we definitely knew that we have a role that we have to play, and we know what we bring to the table. But as the season went by, summer went by, we knew what the goal was and how we get there.
I would also, just to add on to that, say I think it wasn't so much when we were coming in as first years that we knew how crucial we were to the program, but I think after not making it our first year, that's when we kind of banded together and said, this is the time. We expected to make the tournament, and we didn't. So I think going through that experience together, just coming back into the locker room after, watching the selection show and having a conversation, like what just happened to our season, I think that was a huge moment for us as a class to say, okay, we can make some changes from here on out, and it's about growing together.
Fee, how would you compare your comfort level and your confidence level now as you get ready for your third season as when you were getting ready for your first season here?
I think that my confidence level has gone high. I remember my first year, and just looking back at it this summer, I couldn't believe the progress that I've made. Just the confidence on the court and just knowing the things that I could do. I knew that coming from high school, but it was different, and it was just different overall.
What's the next step for you as a player? Your minutes went up last year, your points went up, your rebounds, your blocks. Where do you need to improve? Where would you like to improve?
I would like to improve more as a player, try to expand my game, try to improve the stats a little bit, keep blocking shots, definitely improve the percentage when it comes to making layups, and just continue to improve as a player. And yeah.
Question for Nikki. What's the number one thing you worked on in the offseason on your game individually?
Like Coach said, I think I just worked more on my leadership. I think the skill work and my shot percentage will go up over time through practice and the workouts that we have out of practice. But I think what I focus more on is leadership, being a third year, and having that experience under my belt.
Talk a little bit more about that leadership when it comes to the other guards. Mm-hmm. Did you have to, kick yourself into doing that, or did it come naturally? Being an upperclassman now. Yeah,
I very much so had to kick myself into it. I'm not very vocal, but I do try to lead by example when we're in practice. But I think a key part of our program is how versatile we are, and I do consider myself as a versatile player. So I like to push other players into that versatile role where they can handle the ball or shoot the ball and be able to do the things that they do best. So.
Jocelyn, as you heard what Coach Thompson said about opening with Mississippi State. As players, do you guys like that challenge right off the bat?
I think we do. It's not something that I would say we focus on a lot. It's just the fact that the season's coming up, not necessarily Mississippi State is before us. But we opened against them last year, and that was a fun, exciting game. And now they get to come to our house, so that makes it even better.
So, Dom, last season, you guys were 4-6 when you went to the Christmas break. Mm-hmm. You guys come back and you reel off 8 straight wins. What changed for you guys in that? Can you kind of pinpoint one thing or one moment where you knew things were different after that break?
Last year, I can't really say for sure, being that it was a year away. But listen, these academics, it's all in my head, But I think that break just gave us time to refocus on what our goals were for that year. We wanted to make the NCAA tournament, being that we didn't make it our first year.
So it was just a time to refocus with the team and put in place what we had to do to get to our goals.
For any one of you guys, how terrible is it that your coach wants you guys to score more points?
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's I think it's very smart, being that we are a strong defensive team, but another way to be another team is to outscore them. So I think that it just adds another aspect to our games. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Yeah.
How much different is the way you guys will play this year compared to the way you played last year?
I mean, I don't think we were very defensive focused last year. I think that, again, it's not really a change. It's just adding on to what we already do best. So again, the offensive piece to our games will really help us. It's not really a change, just a building point.
Yeah, I mean, I would echo that. I think defense, that's something that we've done and we're going to continue to do. I think offensively, we knew we needed to score more, and that was one of our deficiencies last year. So it's about enhancing our shortcomings ultimately. And I think, we're going to be looking to play a faster-paced game, get more points on the board, especially in transition, and just have a more free-flowing offense. And that's a huge difference from last year to this year. So we're
How much
excited.
easier is defense to play when you know Felicia's behind you?
I mean, it's great to have Fee. It's comforting. Yeah, because you have that help side. But we can't always rely on Fee. I think individually we have to be able to guard our man one-on-one. Keep them from getting to the middle, because that just messes up all rotation. So we love having Fee there to block shots and everything, but we also have to do our parts.
I kind of want to go back to that Christmas break again. Did you guys spend any time together during that break last season, or were you guys with your families the entire time? Do you guys have any kind of family function during that? Last year.
I mean, last year we did have some team bonding. I think we built gingerbread houses.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
That was really fun.
At a contest.
I won.
Okay.
That's the important thing, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, we did have some team bonding, but I don't think that's necessarily what caused the change.
Mm.
I think for us, we just had to decide as a team where we wanted our season to go and what we wanted the end of it to look like.
Mhm.
And so we made that decision.
And was there a performance you think kind of sparked that for you guys in the second half of last season? Is there a game you guys remember?
I think after going to Florida, we had some tough games and we pulled it out. And I think those kind of tough games helped us towards the latter part of our season, just being in those positions and figuring out who we're going to depend on, having some players step up. I think just, all the adversity we were going through at that time and figuring out how to get through it helped us in the long run.
Jocelyn, back here, you talked about the disappointment of that first year and not getting in, and then getting over that hurdle and getting in last year. So now this year, what's kind of the next step for this program as you guys kind of mature?
Yeah, I think I've said this several times before, making the tournament is an expectation for us. I think to a certain degree it was an expectation first year, and we were let down, or we let ourselves down for that. So I think now that we've kind of set the precedent, we made it last year, it's about continuing to make it. Virginia was once a program you didn't question if the women's basketball program was going to make it to the tournament. So for us, it's about getting back to that point and advancing even further each year.
Was the transition, the coaching transition, stressful, or was it smoother than you would have thought?
Go ahead, Dee. You can start.
It was stressful at first because we weren't sure who the next coach would be or what the expectations were. But I remember like it was yesterday when we're sitting in the locker room, and then Jane, she started to give the resume of the next coach. And then she was like, as soon as you know who the next coach is, you can say who it is. So as soon as she started off, she said like 3 lines. I was like, Cortina. And then she was, yeah, it's Cortina. And at that point, my heart was at rest because I knew like, okay, we have a really good coach. I knew what the expectations were. And there's nothing left behind. I think like UVA did a great job of getting Cortina here.
Having new eyes on you, what's that been like, Jocelyn? Just someone to give you some more insight into your game that maybe you didn't have, your previous 2 years under a different staff? What's that been like?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the very first part?
Just having new eyes on you as far as like Coach Thompson evaluating your game or the team collectively. What's that been like? And can you pinpoint some things that, were there any eureka moments like, oh, I didn't know I was in that bad habit that she's told you about?
Yeah, I think as a player, there hasn't been a lot where she said, or a lot of eye-opening things, I guess, because she's not trying to change our games individually. So it's not kind of like, oh, you're doing this now, but we need to completely remake you or remodel you as a player. It's more about building upon what you already have. And so for me, I feel like it's about being efficient and effective. You know, I remember earlier in the workouts preseason, we were doing a drill, you know, coming off screens and attacking, playing 1-on-1. And a lot of us are rounding corners. No, you need to go straight off. You know, so it's really about the small details and not changing what you're doing, but making it more efficient and effective. And so, yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things. And then also just what our new roles on the team are. You know, for us being leaders, what does that look like? What do you need to do to be a leader? Is it being more vocal? Is it, I think I lead by example as well, but I'm very observant, but I don't always say what I see. So it's learning to do more of that from a leadership standpoint.
You guys are way too excited to answer Doug's question about the transition, so we'll go back to that.
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, the question was it stressful or was it more smooth than you might have guessed?
For me, I don't think it was stressful. I think it was just more of an exciting time, being that it was different. It's going to be different. I don't really see the change as something that was too dramatic, only because no matter what coach I get, I'm going to try to follow their system and make the most of it based on my game. So I wasn't really stressed about Coach T being our coach, especially because Tina Thompson. I mean, can't really do better than that. So.
Nick. Oh.
I think for me, it was definitely a stressful process, and not specifically because of Coach T. I think just change in general, the uncertainty and unknown of waiting for who your new head coach is going to be, who your assistant coaches are going to be. Just that whole process. I don't do well with change, and so, you know, just adjusting was stressful for me initially, but it's been a pretty good transition, I'd say.
Going back over to Nikki, you heard Jocelyn set the expectation level for you guys. Mm-hmm. But the experiences of those first 2 seasons, your first 2 years here, what can you take from those experiences now going into this year? What can you apply, and how does that help?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that the little things matter. You know, that one game that you lost, or that one rebound that you missed that caused them to score. You know, those little things matter because these are close games in the ACC. And it could really go either way. So I think it's just like Josh said, focusing on the details and making sure your effort is consistent throughout the whole game.